Hello guys, how are you? Today we will explain the differences between var keyword, the let keyword, and the const keyword. Basically, these are variables. Let's understand the differences between them. So difference number one, redeclaration. Here we declared variable 1. Here we redeclared variable 1. As you can see here, we used a var variable. And now we declare it again. It's a SpongeBob now. As you can see, variable 1 is SpongeBob. We can declare it a million times. In variable 2, we'll use let. If you try to redeclare it, JavaScript will get very angry at you because you can't redeclare let. As you can see here, you can't. Alright, you will get an error. Same thing with const, redeclare const. Const cannot be redeclared. Same with let. We can only redeclare var. What's the point of var variable? Var variable, it's a legacy for JavaScript. Let and const are new relative to var. Most of programmers only use let and const because it's easy to fuck up with var. As we will discuss later, it got many gotchas. And one of the gotchas, redeclaration. So later in code, when you have like maybe hundreds of lines of codes, and if you try to redeclare the variable 1 again, it will not say anything. It will just work. It will not complain at all. Maybe you will think this is amazing. I can redeclare it. Why is that bad? It's bad because you can fuck up. Maybe you don't want to redeclare it, most likely. What's the point of redeclaring the variable? You most likely did it by mistake. This is not the only gotchas. We have many more gotchas later to understand why it's very easy to fuck up if you use the var keyword. You can actually reassign it. Same thing with var. This is difference number 3. Reassignment. When we reassign it, let's say variable 1, let's say SpongeBob. Alright, it works. SpongeBob works. Let's assign variable 2 to Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs. It works, as you can see here. It's being reassigned here. So we can put it in front of it. Mr. Krabs, it works. Okay, so the const, you might expect, I can just reassign const, but no. No. Let's say Squidward, okay? No, you can't reassign const. It's constant from the name of it. You can't. Sorry, Squidward, you can't be assigned to the const variable. Okay, so the const can't be either redeclared or reassigned. Let can be reassigned but not redeclared. Var, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Redeclare, reassign. The possibilities are endless. Okay, this is now section 2. And now we're talking about the naughty behavior of var. Let's name this pizza, alright? And let's try to cancel like pizza. This is very simple code, okay? We just have if true, var, variable, let variable, and const variable. Now, if you try to cancel like pizza, it would look like that you will get an error because pizza is in a different scope. It should log an error, right? But no, if you log it, you actually print the information. Let's try to log SpongeBob. SpongeBob gives an error. Why? Because the variable is let. What about const? Let's try to log it. Const also doesn't allow you to access it because the scope is just not the same. Let's try to move SpongeBob. Okay, let's try to access SpongeBob. SpongeBob actually lags here. Why? Because it's in the same scope. Even if we move it here, it will still work. However, if we change the scope to here, as you can see here, SpongeBob will give you an error. Why we can actually print pizza? Because the var variable actually are hoisted at the function scope. Basically, under the hood for JavaScript, we do not see this, but basically, JavaScript will hoist the pizza variable at the function scope. You might say, where is the function? We do not see any function. Like, are you blind? We don't see any function. But basically, believe or not, this is actually a function scope. This, like just without anything, we are inside a function scope. This is a function scope. JavaScript moves the var keyword to the function scope. So it becomes like this. I mean, if you see it now, you would understand why it lags the information. See? However, for let and const, or to be more accurate, actually, the var variable is actually initialized with undefined. We'll get that later in the next section. However, for let and const, it's hoisted in the block scope like this. It's not initialized, all right? So it's like this. This is basically how it will look like under the hood. We can't do this, but basically under the hood it will look like this, all right? This is why we can access pizza, but we cannot access SpongeBob or this one, the const variable, all right? Now, why this behavior is naughty? It's leaking outside the function. So I said this, I hate pizza. You will actually print I hate pizza, even though you think that this block scope is just completely separate from pizza. You will actually leak it outside, as we discussed earlier. However, if we have like a function and say my function, all right? If we change pizza here, you might expect it will say I hate pizza because you are thinking that, oh, pizza will move up. No, it doesn't. Because this is a function scope now, it actually doesn't leak out. Section 3 now, hoisting. What is hoisting mean? As you can see here, we don't get an error because JavaScript, basically the hoisting, it moves the var keyword to the top of the scope. But however, it initializes it with undefined. Okay, like this, similar to this. Okay, so when you try to log the hoisted variable, you get actually undefined. Now, how this differs from let and const? If we say this is let, name it pizza, we cannot access pizza before initialization because for the let variable, it's not initialized like this. Var is initialized like this. The let variable does this. It's like this. Same with const, pizza. It doesn't initialize with anything. When you don't initialize with anything, you will get an error. But because var is initialized with undefined, you only get undefined. Well, let's try it with const. As you can see here, we get the same error. So you must access the variable after its declaration, or JavaScript will get very angry at you. As you can see here, error, no error. Now this is a very big gotcha for const variable. We just learned that const can't be changed, right? Okay, let's see if this is actually true or not. So a junior dev would look at this user object. He will think that changing the name of Alice to something else like Steve, maybe, it will cause an error because const cannot be changed. This is the junior dev. But the senior dev knows that actually, const only makes the variable itself immutable. The variable pointer or reference to the object only makes the address of the object immutable. So basically, we can't change the user directly. Like if we did this, as you can see here, let's change it to Bob. Bob assignment to constant variable. This will cause an error, as you can see here, because we are changing the variable itself, all right? However, if we change the name and not the variable, okay, we are not changing the variable itself. We are changing the name inside of the object, this object, you see? So it's completely fine to change the name inside the object because the name is not constant. It's not read-only. It's just a normal variable. We can change it to anything we want. Const will not prevent us to change the name. As you can see here, the name is Bob. Let's comment this out. As you can see here, the name is Alice. So we indeed changed the name in the const variable. Same thing with like an array, okay? Imagine an array of numbers. If we push, like say, number 4 to this array, it works perfectly fine. Why is that? Because we are not changing the address of the variable. Basically, we are not changing this value, okay? If I try to say numbers equals like new array, okay, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say if I want to do this, I get an error. Assignment to constant variable. We are assigning it a new array, something new. However, the array itself is not read-only or constant. You can even do it like, let's say 999. As you can see, it works fine. A junior dev, when he looks at this piece of code, he would think that it will print 1, 2, 3 because we have 3 iterations and I starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2. However, let's see what it will actually print out and understand why. As you can see here, the var variable actually prints 333. Why is that? As we discussed earlier, the var keyword is hoisted at the function scope. So basically, because var is a function scope and not a block scope, and actually here this is a block scope because variable is a naughty boy and is a function scope guy. Basically, JavaScript does the following. It's basically like this, all right? This is under the hood. This is how it will look. This is why it's printing 3, because when we are incrementing I, we are incrementing the same I. So when we print I after 100 milliseconds, we are actually printing the same guy. This is the imposter, all right? This is the same variable. It doesn't matter if incremented to 1 million, because it's the same guy, it will simply print the same number. Because it was incremented 3 times, it will print 3, because it's the same variable in memory. Told you, var is a function scope, so it will leak outside the block scope. If we instead used let I instead of var, let is actually block scope as we discussed earlier, so it will not leak. Each time we loop over the array, the I is actually a new variable. It will print 0, 1, 2. Okay, I hope you guys understood these. These are the main differences, and these are like the most common gotchas for like let, const, and var. I hope you found this helpful. See you later.